talk about positive CBT art, sustainable positive CBT art. And just a minute, I'm gonna move myself to the left. Okay. So my name is Ya'al Sharon, and I'm 60 years old. During the last 35 years, I found out that my professional title is expanding, as so the theories and practice that I'm holding. The short version nowadays is positive CBT with arts. I knew I wanted to be a therapist since I was 14, but the usual therapy, two people sitting on a chair while one is nodding when the other one talks, didn't suit me or my character. And I decided to become a therapist through arts. Now, using arts in therapy is something that lately many therapy approaches find very useful. Chair work, connecting to sensations, somatic experience, and even the use of drawing while having therapy sessions with children is quite common in CBT nowadays. But for me and for my colleagues, arts was always there as a main path to conduct therapy. The use of arts, as you can see, it's drama, psychodrama, movement, drawing, music, and bibliotherapy, is a great way to get in contact with oneself. We don't just talk or react through cognitions. We involve our body, our senses, our colors, our own metaphors. We pay attention to our emotions during therapy, as therapists and as clients. And using all of that allows a meaningful and exciting experience that can lead to transformation towards the wishful change, a real sustainable change. But it's not just about experiencing and feeling that gives meaning to therapy through art. It's also the process, the music, dance, drama, poetry, as a way of connecting to positive abilities, to healing. We call it arts as therapy. In a positive psychology way, creating and making place to good experiences, positive ones. Looking at Seligman and Peterson's character strength, we can specifically talk about creativity, evaluation of beauty, and spirituality as the relevant strength that relate to using arts in therapy. There are many researches that prove how using different arts can help enhance therapy. But I would like to mention several researches that were conducted by Professor Karmit Katz from Israel that presents the contribution of using drawings while investigating children about the sexual and physical abuse. Professor Katz shows in her researches that asking the children to draw what happened to them during investigation help them to remember more details about them being abused. The positive psychology gets into my picture not only through arts and connecting to good and inspiring experiences in therapy, it also is very connected to CBT, like Tammy said before. People go to therapy because they want to make change in their lives, to learn how to get along with anxiety, depression, trauma, to know how to handle different problems that bother them. But they also want to be happier, satisfied with their life. And in order to do that, it's not enough to reduce bad habits or feelings, but also to increase good feelings, good thoughts, to base a good, healthy mindset, to connect to their inner meaning, purpose in life. You can see here works, but these are Mirav students, the social workers, they did the trees of strength. And here are students from high school do their meaning and values fruits. Just some examples for now. And CBT, second and third generation, structured, change-centered, well-organized, with means and goals, formalization, and psychoeducation explanations, and distorted thoughts, a lot of knowledge, a very useful way of life, as well as tools to conduct therapy. Well, you all know about this, don't you? As I said earlier, there are many researchers that demonstrate the way using arts can help therapy. There are also researchers that show the benefits of using different arts before or during CBT sessions. For example, using music therapy in order to engage patients in CBT groups for substance abuse treatment, CBT groups that involve psychodrama, and so on. But I was still aiming towards another combination, one that looks at arts as major means and tools in CBT. Combination that doesn't separate. You can draw the distorted thoughts, play them, sing them, or talk about them, whatever suits our clients and ourselves. For me, Dire Straits with their song Why Worry is a great example of a song that I can sing to myself whenever I'm worried. And Corona time gave us a lot of reasons to be worried about. Actually, if we were alive, I would have given you to hear the song and maybe ask you to sing with us, but I think it's more complicated in Zoom, so we'll carry on and just look at the words. Why worry? There should be sunshine after rain. Those things have always been the same, so why worry now? That's for me. I do think it begins to change though. For example, I found a research about an intervention that combined the two approaches. They called it Cognitive Behavioral Therapy-Based Music Group for symptoms of anxiety and depression. I'll show you later the bibliography if you would like to know. So back to me. As a lecturer in several colleges and supervisor to therapists through arts, I saw the therapists that were trained in both approaches, but at different periods of time in their life, don't really know how to combine the arts with the CBT. And I decided that I want to teach this unique and special approach in an organized training. It's not easy to teach and train therapists through art in CBT. The schools for therapy through arts in Israel hold strongly dynamic approach. When I first suggested to Merav, the head of Psagot Institute, to train therapists through arts in CBT, she was very skeptical. But I am very stubborn, and she was open-minded, and we started to train therapists through arts in CBT in 2013. Now it's already our 9th year, and there are already more than 250 therapists that I trained, and this approach of CBT arts is already very well known among therapists through arts in Israel and gets a lot of warm reactions from clients as well as colleagues in other professions. There is a research from 2019 that conducted by my colleague and friend, Dr. Nomi Weitz, she's somewhere there in the audience, that also works with us in Psagot in training therapists to combine arts and CBT. She investigated therapists in movement and dance in Israel that were also trained after several years in CBT. She wanted to find out if and how do they use both approaches with their clients and what do they think about the combination of the two approaches. Here are the conclusions that derived from their interviews. New programs should be constructed, focusing on training therapists in the combined dance and movement therapy and CBT approaches. This conclusion is in line with findings that therapists holding both approaches reported that they combine both approaches, but with no systematic body of knowledge or an organized model of treatment. Moreover, for the combined treatment to be perceived and implemented as legitimate, recognized, and research-based therapy approach, in addition to combining both approaches and training, a professional community of therapists who combine these two approaches should be established and nurtured. Here you can see we had before Corona time, when gathering was a good thing, my students and me were making monster thoughts at my home, and this is me and Nomi and me with a chain of abilities. So, yes, that's what I'm doing, teaching in a systematic and organized way of training that combines CBT with arts, and I love it. And a formal CBT art club is established those days. And here are pictures from Sੀ.בי.טי Art Club first official meeting on the Zoom. We were all doing this. I pictured the screen to show you some of the people here. And now I thought that I can demonstrate you some of the works and the ideas about the exciting combination of Sí.בי.טי arts as much as we can, and the way it influences our clients and ourselves. So here are some drawings, and I apologize, but it's much easier to demonstrate with arts. It's more complicated to demonstrate how it goes with music or with drama. So I'll show you mostly artworks. This is baseline. This is baseline from a student of mine that ended this year. Here he is at the beginning of the year, like this, you see. And here's now at the end of the first year. Here is another student that pictured a big foot and a small foot. Learning Sí.בי.טי helps me to establish my profession, to give earth that we can step on and to grow from there. The big foot represents her in art therapy. The small foot is her first steps in Sí.בי.טי. And they are both together, it's one body. And here's another student that was very, she had a hard time accepting the idea of Sí.בי.טי. I started to climb my way up on the ladder. I'm still on the first step, but I'm climbing. You can see the artists, some of them. And here, how it looks with children. That's baseline of a child. That's me now with my anger issues. And that's what I want to be at the end of therapy. Here is other baselines that we ask children to draw with red when they're not satisfied with themselves, yellow when they're so-so, and green when they're very satisfied. And we can see here that he's not so satisfied in anything besides this one. So physical appearance, he says, I'm a bit fat, I want to lose weight. At school, I'm angry, I go wild. With friends, they don't love me, I spoil everything. With his feelings, I'm angry, anger, hate, insulted. Behavior, I shout, I hit, I go out of school, I ran out of school. At home, I love to be at home. Look how it opens a way to go direct to the target, to the goal, to what we want to work about with him, for him and for us. That's another way of looking at the situation. And I would like to show you how we measure. You know, in Sí.בי.טי, we like to measure a lot, right? So here we measure emotions, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 emotions, different emotions, and here's the scale, okay? So each child decides what color he wants to his emotion. This can be anger, it doesn't have to be anger. If he wants it, it will be anger. And this is small anger, stronger, till very, very angry. Calm, very calm, and that's a way of measuring, and also circle of emotions, way of measuring. Other emotions we can talk about, not here, okay? And now I'd like to show you psychoeducation explanation. Here is a work done by my student, like this game, you know, the one that you hit one ball and all balls hit each other. And you can see here that it's thoughts, emotions, senses, and behavior. Moving one will move all of them. That's a very good way of explaining children, 5 years old, 6 years old, the way changing thought can change emotion, the way the thought reflects on their emotions and their behavior. And here is a work by Tzadok Ben David. Tzadok Ben David is an artist, a sculptor, and it was an exhibition in Israel that you got to the room and there were flowers from Iran, black flowers from Iran, and moving to the other side, all the flowers became colorful. So from there, I took the idea that from one side you can see it black, and from the other side you can see it colorful. And from there, many groups and classrooms made their own field of flowers from two sides, not from iron, but from calcar and other stuff. And here are the distorted thoughts. During therapy sessions with children, it's all done with children, this work. This is the one that feels very inferior with itself. This is, we call it the oi, everything is very bad. And this is by a 17 years old girl in hospital. And you can see the filtering monster distorted thoughts. And I would like to end by telling you, showing you maybe more positive strength in words and in colors. What was here, what I did here, it was in a conference of CBT, creative CBT with arts. And I gave them big papers to write. Here's thoughts that make me feel good things about myself, major ideas, and gratitude for, and people just went and wrote their answers. And later there was all the walls full with good thoughts and good saying. And we can see it here in drawing. Here's the CBT, also by a student of mine, that described herself in a zest, creativity. What is practicality, sensitivity, wisdom, and that's it. So thank you very much. I would like to tell you that I think CBT can be very creative, and combining it with positive psychology, as Tammy said, is a major idea. Altogether makes it sustainable, not separate. Something that won't change after half a year or year, because we felt it, we sensed it, we thought about it, we behaved it, and we loved it. So thank you very much.